Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're bringing some serious energy to a topic that is literally right in front of us, probably purring on your couch right now. We're decoding the domestic cat. We're going to peel back the layers of our deeply misunderstood, incredibly familiar feline companions. You might think you know the domestic cat, but I promise you, by the end of this explainer, you're going to look at your pet in a completely new light.
600 million. Yeah, just let that staggering number sink in for a second. There are roughly 600 million domestic cats worldwide. They are everywhere. That includes an astonishing 400 million in Asia alone, and over 73 million living in homes right here in the US. They are absolutely one of the most successful mammalian species on the planet, heavily integrated into our daily lives.
But this brings us to a really fascinating question, right? How much do we really know about the apex predators sleeping at the foot of our beds? I kind of like to use the alien analogy here. Frame your cat not just as this cuddly pet that likes chin scratches, but as a highly specialized, wildly complex, almost alien predator that just happens to be living right inside your living room.
Okay, Section 1. Myths, Magic, and Domestication. Let's dive right into this by exploring the surface level first, the deep, mythical history we share with these felines before we get into their wild biology.
Our relationship has evolved dramatically over thousands of years. It's like a giant puzzle that started way back around 7500 BCE in the Near East. They essentially domesticated themselves by serving as highly effective pest controllers in early human agricultural settlements. Talk about a win-win, right? By 3000 BCE, they leveled up immensely, becoming revered as sacred protectors, famously embodied by the goddess Bastet in ancient Egypt. Fast forward a bit to 1603 in Japan, and they evolved into symbols of luck and prosperity. And today? Well, they're thoroughly documented in modern pedigree registries. It's a pretty incredible journey from barn hunter to deity to household royalty.
Because of that rich history, cats embody a brilliant paradox across global folklore. On one hand, you have Freya's cats in Norse mythology, bringing fertility and abundance, but then you have the menacing Jólakatarinn, the Icelandic Yule cat, which is literally a fearsome beast that devours people. And over in Japan, you have the shape-shifting Bakaneko and Nekomata commanding the dead. What this brilliantly illustrates is humanity's profound awe of the cat's mystery. We've always kind of known there's something wildly untamed about them.
All right, Section 2, Biology of an Apex Predator. It's time to shift away from human myths and look directly at the hidden, alien internal biology that makes cats such formidable creatures.
To really understand their super senses, just compare our sense of smell to theirs. We have about 10 million olfactory receptor neurons. Cats, they have up to 200 million. Their sense of smell is up to 16 times stronger than ours. They even have a secret weapon, the vomeronasal or Jacobson's organ, located right in the roof of their mouths. So when your cat leaves its mouth hanging open slightly, it's literally tasting the scent in the air.
And the surprises definitely don't stop at smell. Their hearing is absolutely phenomenal. They can hear up to 64 kilohertz, which is a full octave above what even dogs can hear, allowing them to detect the super high-pitched squeaks of tiny rodents. For vision, they use a reflective layer behind the retina called the tapetum lucidum. That's exactly what makes their eyes glow in the dark, and it allows them to hunt in near darkness using just 1/6 of the light we need. And touch? Instead of fingertips, they use 24 deeply rooted whiskers that feed directly into their brain. It creates a literal 3D map of their surroundings in real time.
Now, what's truly fascinating to me is their sense of taste. A genetic mutation actually deleted their ability to taste sweetness. They literally lack the TAS1R2 gene required to enjoy sugar. No way, right? But this isn't a defect at all. It perfectly roots them into their highly specialized evolutionary niche as hunters. They simply don't need to eat sweet plants. Their taste receptors are perfectly fine-tuned for umami flavors, specifically the amino acids found in meat and tuna.
Moving on to Section 3, the obligate carnivore diet. This biological hardwiring leads us perfectly into how their internal quirks dictate exactly what they must eat to survive. For cats, you are what you eat is an absolute biological rule.
So, the crucial takeaway here is that cats are what we call obligate carnivores. This means they are biologically mandated to eat meat. Their digestive systems are incredibly short and highly acidic, which is completely unlike the omnivorous systems of humans or even dogs. A cat simply cannot be a vegetarian. Their bodies strictly demand animal-based proteins and fats to function.
Now, why does this matter for your pet's health? Well, let's look at their essential fuel. They absolutely require taurine for their heart and vision, and arginine to flush toxic ammonia from their bodies.
They also need preformed vitamin A from meat because unlike us, they can't magically convert the beta-carotene from a carrot into vitamin A. And here's a massive takeaway for you. Their desert-dwelling ancestors passed down a remarkably low natural thirst drive. In the wild, they get water from their prey. But in your house, a strictly dry food diet can leave them chronically dehydrated. So high-moisture wet food is absolutely critical.
Section 4, Decoding Feline Body Language. Now that we understand their wild internal biology, let's look at the bridge between us, how they actually communicate their needs and boundaries to humans.
Think your cat is hard to read? We'll hit them with this incredible statistic. Research shows that cats can actually produce 276 morphologically distinct facial expressions during social interactions. 276! They're constantly communicating with us. We just need to know how to read the manual.
So, cat body language generally falls into two distinct categories. First, we have distance-reducing or friendly behaviors. Basically, this is when they want you closer. It includes scent rubbing to transfer calming pheromones, the slow blink of trust, or the enthusiastic elevator bum stretch when you pet them. Contrast that with distance-increasing behaviors. These are warnings. If a cat is standing tall, raising its fur, turning side-on, or giving you that classic arched-back Halloween pose, they are deliberately making themselves look big to tell you, back off, I need some space.
It is incredibly important to recognize when that need for space turns into actual fear. There is a specific escalation sequence you should watch for. It starts with the anxious crouch. They try to look small, and their pupils dilate. If the threat remains, you get step 2, airplane ears. Their ears flatten tightly against their head, and they might start nervously flicking their tongue. Now, if you see this specific sequence, especially those flattened airplane ears and hissing, be warned. The cat is absolutely terrified. They aren't being mean, they are scared. You need to give them space immediately rather than trying to comfort or touch them.
Finally, Section 5. From moggies to pedigrees. Let's examine the surface layer once more to see how humans have categorized and bred these fascinating creatures in the modern day.
You might be surprised to learn about the illusion of the cat breed. Unlike dogs, where breeds are incredibly distinct and super common, the vast majority of household cats are actually random-bred moggies, just wonderful domestic short hairs or long hairs with absolutely no pedigree whatsoever. The world of cat fanciers is actually quite small and kind of inconsistent. For instance, the International Cat Association recognizes 75 standard breeds, but the Cat Fanciers Association, they only recognize 45.
But, where human selective breeding has occurred, it's resulted in some truly unique varieties. You have the nearly hairless mutation of the Sphinx, the massive and rugged Maine Coon, the highly vocal Siamese, and even striking wild hybrids like the Savannah. It's definitely worth pointing out, though, that many breed names are actually just fanciful Western selections. Breeds like the Balinese or Himalayan have absolutely no historical link to their geographical namesakes. They were quite literally just named that way to sound exotic.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with a provocative thought. We've seen their mythical history, their incredibly specialized biology, their strict carnivorous dietary needs, and their super complex body language. It begs the question, are our domestic cats, despite thousands of years of human partnership, still just a whisker away from their wild ancestors? Next time your cat slow blinks at you from the couch, remember, you are sharing your home with a marvelously adapted, highly specialized apex predator. Thanks for joining me on The Explainer. Keep learning, and I'll see you next time.